Hi, and welcome back to Tuesdays with Tuesday. My name is Tuesday, and I write fantasy fiction under the name Mary E. Twomey. Today we're going to be reading the next chapter of my book, Savage Hearts. So if you haven't read the first 17 chapters, you're not really going to like this because it's going to make no sense. So you should probably go back and watch the first 17 videos. Or you can get the ebook, which is usually for free, on most major retailers to put on your e-reader, and you can catch up with us and even read ahead. Or you can get the paperback. So today we're reading chapter 18, and as a reminder, Santos is mute, so whenever he speaks, sign. I will do that with my fingers so you know that he is signing. Chapter 18, Adelita in the morning. Santos. I've been awake for 2 hours. I'm desperate to use the bathroom, but I can't bring myself to budge. Adelita's deep breaths move the comforter up and down in this calm beat that makes me feel like the world might not be such a grim place. I tried to unthread my fingers from hers, but she shifted and frowned in her sleep, as if she prefers me close. I love that she wants me near. And it's not just because she's unconscious and doesn't realize what she's doing. She reached for me last night. It was my hand she wanted to hold. She likes me pressed up against her side in my wolf form and my man form. I don't even mind that Cruz needed to be near her to get a good night's sleep. I'm almost relieved Raphael and I weren't up all night listening to La Sayona torment his mind. Cruz's arm is still wrapped over her stomach, but it's my hand she reached for so she could sleep. I've seen the men and women hold hands in the village. Children and parents. Little girls running through the town square while they giggle about some secret I'll never understand. No one has ever reached for my hand except my twin, and that was years ago. I want to roll Adelita onto her side, but I know that would hurt her shoulder to move her too much. I can see it, though. I bet I could feel her heartbeat through her back, thrumming into my chest like a secret we share from the world. I want that secret. I want to know what her heartbeat feels like. My thumb traces up the back of her hand to rest on her wrist. It's comforting, her steady rhythm. I think it's my contented stare that causes her lashes to flutter at the disruption. She stretches, realizing with a blush that we held hands through the night under the covers. Her gaze lands on mine to study my face in the morning light that's filtering through the thinned curtains. How I love the look of her, all tousled and sleepy-eyed. She's too perfect to be holding my hand, yet somehow, by a stroke of infinite luck, she hasn't let go. In fact, she cuddles closer, her shoulder touching mine. "Good morning," she whispers with a small smile, meant just for me. It's too much. The whole thing is too incredible to attempt sanity. My free hand grows a mind of its own. It has to touch her. It has to know if her cheek is as soft as it was yesterday. I move slow, giving her ample opportunity to shirk away. I'm used to women recoiling from the sight of me. Scarred face aside, I was raised by the Calcoo. Dangerous, they whisper when they skitter past me. Savage is usually what I hear under their breath when I walk through the village with Cruz and Raphael. Cruz always tries to convince me that my nickname is a compliment to my fighting, but Santos the Savage isn't easy for me to stomach. But that's because it's accurate. They all know it, and so do I. Yet Adelita seems to have no clue that she belongs with a king or someone befitting her delicate grace. Adelita exhales contentedly when my knuckles brush her cheek. Sugar, that's what she is. She's the woman who brings hot chocolate and sweetness into my life. She feels like silk and the best kind of warmth. Father kept sweetness away from me because he said it makes men weak. If this is weakness, so be it. Adelita is careful not to wake Cruz as she turns her chin more fully toward me, her nose an inch from mine. Her breathing is steady and deep again. Parts of me I never knew what to do with awaken and lean toward her, knowing this is where I belong. Touching her soft cheek and spending my morning making sure she's relaxed and happy is the most natural thing in the world. Just when I think I can't believe how wonderful this morning is turning out, she angles her chin up and brushes her nose across mine. It's so precious, so intimate. I can hardly believe it's meant for me. I always assumed I was built to sleep in a cold bed by myself. But Adelita is my... No, she's not my anything. She's too perfect to belong to me. But I belong to her, wholly and easily. I'm hers. And as long as she'll let me touch her cheek and hold her hand in bed, I will die a happy man. Happy. There's a word I never thought I'd put much stock in. It never mattered much before. Alive matters. Protected matters. Happy? It's always been a concept too grand to pursue. And yet, here it is, cuddled up in bed with me and nuzzling my nose as if she's convinced I'm the same brand of gentle she is. Her torso snuggles deeper into the sheet, and the curve of her hip calls out to me. I'm pushing my luck, really pushing the edges of it to see how far it'll stretch. My hand drifts to her shoulder, trilling down her arm and hopping over Cruz's forearm to land on her ribs. And there it is, the slope of her waist that bells out at her hip. She doesn't pull away at my touch, but surprises me by lifting her knee up to hook it atop mine, drawing my thigh under hers. My brain is firing with possibilities and impossibilities, trying to figure out which one this scenario fits into. On the one hand, this cannot possibly be happening. She can't want to be wrapped around me so beautifully. On the other hand, here she is. Cruz is a series of grunts and sniffs when he wakes. I don't even care that that is the background noise to our perfect morning. It takes half a minute for his eyes to open. He stiffens once he takes in the scope of the curvy body he's been holding on to all night long. What are you doing? Cruz recoils from Adelita as if she plotted and planned to get him into bed all along. La Sayona, Raphael mumbles, his eyes still closed. You wouldn't calm down last night unless you were holding Adelita's hand. Cruz goes from lidded eyes to wide awake in the span of Raphael's sentence. He shoots up out of the bed as if the mattress is on fire. I rise slowly, holding up my hands to prove everything is fine. Cruz is not convinced. Say something. Are you all right? He tugs Adelita from my side, dragging her to the edge of the bed with such a manic look on his face that she doesn't resist. He lifts her to her knees atop the foot of the mattress, treating her body like she's a rag doll. She lets him pry her eyes wider so he can peer inside. I'm all right, Cruz. My shoulder's the only problem, not my eyes. Your brain, he explains without really explaining. Nothing's wrong? Nothing happened? She gently pries herself from his grip, but she can't balance as she tries to stand from the bed, so Cruz's arms go around her waist to help her. Her words come out before he's fully set her on her feet. What's supposed to have happened? You're the one who had the nightmare. Is that what this is about? Are you still feeling upset about your bad dream? She's standing in the circle of his arms as he tries to steady her. She rests her hand on his bicep and his whole body loses all tension. Boy, do I know that feeling. There's an addiction laced in her fingertips that makes you crave more every time she touches you. His spine relaxes and his chin droops. Adelita's thumb massages his bicep. It was just a dream, Cruz. It's all right. You're not hurt? She didn't come for you? Adelita's worry is nothing to Cruz's. When he glares at us for taking this chance with her life, all I feel is shame. I should have been more careful. If La Sayona had attacked Adelita because she was near Cruz while he slept, I do not take for granted the lucidity in her eyes, even if it's plagued with worry. She could have died. We could have lost her for good. That was chapter 18 of Savage Hearts, book 1 in the Savage Hearts series. Next Tuesday, I will be reading the next chapter for you. I'm trying to get one every Tuesday so you know that when you see that date on your calendar, it's time for the next chapter of my book. See how sneaky that is? Like, that amazing, who would have thought of something so brilliant? So every Tuesday I'm going to read you the next chapter. And actually, look at how far we are. Okay, so this is how much we've read. And this is how much we have to go. So like, we're more than halfway through the book. We're a good chunk through. And I'm really glad that we get to spend this time together. If you want to get the ebook and read ahead and finish before next Tuesday, that's fine. Feel free to reach out, send me a message, and let me know how you're liking it. Thanks for letting me spend this time with you. I'll see you next Tuesday.